Hello everyone, my name is Dominique Amara, and today I will be showing you one of my favorite Bible study resources, my favorite digital Bible study resources, and this resource is Olive Tree Bible Software. Now, as you can see, I have it already pulled up and ready to go. I just want to go over some basic features first. The main thing that I want to say is that this software is free. It's available for PC, Mac, and mobile devices. And this software is basically available wherever you are. You can take it wherever you are. You can, have it with you on the train, plane, wherever. You have access to this, and it's very convenient. You don't have to pull out multiple books and pull out a huge study Bible. You have it all within your software. And that's one of the benefits of having digital Bible study software. So I want to go ahead and discuss this Olive Tree software, and hopefully you guys will see how helpful it can be. It has been very helpful to me, and I'm sure that it can really just take your study to another level. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the basics. So as you can see, I have the Bible, the ESV translation pulled up. I have the book of Ruth pulled up here. And what I like about it the most is just the ability to just have the Bible text by itself. I don't have a ton of information kind of displaying in my face. I just have just the Bible text itself. And you can adjust the text to make it however big you would like it or however wide. And you can do that by clicking the settings little font option here. And I can make the font bigger just by clicking that, or I can make it smaller. Not sure why anybody would want it that small, but I can make it smaller. And I can also, like I said, adjust the text width, have a wide view, have a more narrow view. And this can become very helpful if you have a secondary screen. I do have a second screen that I use that's kind of on the wide side. So having the text wide on a wide screen isn't very readable. It kind of is annoying to read from edge to edge. So to be able to adjust on those wide screens, to be able to adjust it more narrow and add a little margin in definitely helps. It's one of the main features that I was looking for in my Bible study software. So you have that option there. I'm going to keep it about right here. So you have the advanced display options. We'll click on that. And I don't really get too deep with this because you can really take it to the next level here. You can really just customize your settings and make it your own. So here in the colors and fonts, you have a background color. So let's say you want the main window to be completely black. You can change it. I'm not going to do that, but you can change it if you want. You can adjust the sliders here. And you can just choose from different ways to color your main window. You can use the color wheel and just get custom colors for your main window. You can do the same for the split window, floating window. You can adjust the font. So let's say I want the font to be in a different font family. Click on one of those, change the typeface, change the size, and it'll be customized to the way that I want it. And I can do that for all of these options here for my notes, floating window, pop-up, split, resource guide, quick details. And they also have an original languages font, so Greek font sizes and Hebrew font sizes. And if you're really into the original languages, this feature right here will be very helpful to you. And so, you can make all these changes if you want, and don't worry if it's something you don't like. You can just click the reset fonts and colors option. And they have more settings up here. You can click general to adjust some of the general settings, hyperlink settings, your search settings, your resource guide settings, and lookup settings. So they have a ton of settings that you can use, and you can really, like I said, just completely change the way the software looks and make it your own software. So that's a really cool option that you have there. We'll click out of that. And another thing I want to talk about is this section here. When you click on this, it'll bring up the split window. And in the split window, you have your resource guide, your notes, my stuff, search, and the library. Now, I will say my favorite of all of these is the resource guide, because it literally scans what information you have in the main window, and it brings up the relevant information here in this section. So let's actually, I have the introduction of Ruth up, but let's go to Ruth chapter 1. So in Ruth chapter 1, it's pulling up related verses to Ruth chapter 1, commentaries on Ruth chapter 1, and you can see how many we have. You also have the Bibles that display, of course, Ruth chapter 1, and you can read it there side by side to compare. And you have, this is my favorite thing on the resource guide, is the people, places, and topics sections here. It scans, like I said, it scans what's in this main window, and it pulls out the relevant information. So in this section, we see it's talking about Naomi, and you can see who Naomi is. She is the mother-in-law of Ruth. You can click on that and get articles from your library, your resources, and read different articles on Naomi. You can see what does the Bible say about Naomi and where she appears in the Bible. And those are the locations. And also, I meant to mention, you can also add notes on Naomi if you wanted to. And it's the same thing here for all the people that are mentioned in this section. You got your places, Bethlehem. You got topics that are related to this section: love, widow, bereavement. You have maps. So if I want to see what the setting of Ruth, the book of Ruth was, I can just click on it and it pulls up a map for me to see. You also have charts. So you got your Old Testament timelines, historical books timeline, and what is this? Oh, a family tree of Ruth. And of course, you got even more information here. We got outlines on the book of Ruth. So let's say I want to see what the ESV Study Bible has. And it has a little introduction on Naomi. So, and let's just kind of move up here. You see an outline of the book of Ruth and the map of the setting and literary features and more. And this is all in the ESV Study Bible. But as you can see, I mean, it's so useful that it automatically pulls that information up for you. You don't got to go thumbing through anything. It's right here for you to see. Then I have sermons on the book of Ruth. So I want to click on that. I'm pretty sure this is from the John Piper. Yeah, I have a resource in my library that's John Piper's sermons, over 1,200 sermons. And it pulls up the sermon on the book of Ruth and when it was given, July 1st, 1984. So it's cool to be able to just read through John Piper's sermon on the book of Ruth. Then, of course, also I can add notes on Ruth chapter 1 if I wanted to as well. And so as you can see, I mean, the resource guide is just extremely in-depth. I mean, it displays that useful information from your library that is related to what you're reading in your main window. So you can really use this to get deep into study. So in the next section, you have your notes. And as you can see, I have a sermons folder, and I also have a folder for the book of Judges that I just finished reading through. And I'm probably going to, of course, have notes for each book of the Bible. Right now, I'm kind of new to using the notes function within the program. because I used to use a separate note-taking app, which is totally fine, but to be able to have it within the software is more helpful for me, because when I search for certain topics and certain things, it'll pull up this some of my notes if I have relevant information in my notes on whatever topic I'm searching. So I think I'm probably going to put all of my notes in here now, but their notes function is pretty simple. It doesn't have any formatting, so you can't bold anything, at least not to my knowledge. So, but it does get the job done. Next, you have your My Stuff section. So you have your notes, highlights. You can view all of your highlights. So if you have any yellow highlights, you can see where they are located. And pink, purple, and so forth. You can view all your red underlines all together. You have your book ribbons, saved passages, tags, and reading plans. So let's say you want to start a reading plan. You can click on reading plans and pick one that you like to start. And you can also get more reading plans as well. And so we'll move on to the search section. In search, you can search for certain topics or people. Let's say I want to search for praise. So as you can see, when you type in your topic, it pulls up pretty much a definition of what it is. Praise, an expression of approval or admiration. And I can click on that and get an articles on the topic of praise. I can see what the Bible says about praise. And I can add notes on praise as well. And once again, the articles also show up here. I can see search results in Bibles and see where the word praise is mentioned in these resources here. Same thing here, praise. How many times is mentioned in John Piper's sermons? 979 times. And even more information. So it's very helpful to be able to have all that information at your fingertips just by doing a basic search. Moving on to the library section. Now in the library section, you can pull up a study Bible if you want. So let's say I want to have the ESV study Bible next to my ESV text. So I click on it. And as you can see, it pulled up to Ruth chapter 1, which I have here. And the nice thing about it is that it moves as you move. So let's say you're in Ruth 1:6, and there you go. You see the notes from the ESV study Bible on Ruth chapter 1, verse 6. And like I said, it just scrolls and goes along with you. And this is kind of the best way to read a study Bible, at least for me, because I notice in the actual paper study Bibles, the physical study Bibles, there are times where there are more notes on the page than there is actual Bible text. And it can kind of be a little distracting. So to be able to have it side by side, as opposed to like all up on the same page, is very helpful. And you can adjust the size too. So let's say you want more of the Bible text. You can adjust the size and have the study notes right here. And it adjusts to the size that you make it. And if you want it this way, you can do it that way. Usually I just keep it split right down the middle. But you do have that option to adjust. So this is very helpful. And also you can do the same thing with commentaries as well. So I want to pull up, see which one I want to pull up here. My Through the Bible commentary. So as you can see, it adjusts as you read, which is so helpful to have that, even with commentaries, not just study Bible notes. It does adjust and move along with you in your commentaries. So that's yet again another helpful resource. So the next thing I want to talk about, let's go ahead and just click out of this. The next thing I want to talk about is highlighting. So let's say you want to highlight, it doesn't really matter. I'm trying to find something special, but let's just say you want to highlight part of verse 4. You don't want to highlight the whole verse 4. You just want to highlight part of it. So let's say you just want to highlight this section right here. All you have to do is select it, right click, and select highlight, and you can choose whichever one. Let's say I want a red underline. There we go. If I want to delete that red underline, select it, highlight, delete, highlight. And if you want to highlight the entire verse, click on the verse number, select highlight, and there you go. And it didn't do it. That's great. There we go. It did it that time. All right. And if you want to delete it, just click delete highlight. And like I said, you can also, view what we saw earlier. You can view all of your highlights under my stuff. So as I was saying when I first started this video, this software itself is completely free. You can download it at olivetree.com. Now, if you want resources, they do have multiple resources that are free. So actually you can click store and select free books. So you can see all of the free books that are available for you to download. And they have a good bit of free resources that you can use to really build your library. But of course, they also have resources that you can purchase. Now, I'm not sure why it's not showing the prices. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know what that was, but here, as you can see, they have a sale going on. It's the final hours, literally. And you can see the original pricing and the sale price. So when you're in the store section, you can purchase additional resources for your library. And the cool thing about Olive Tree is that they have a ton of sales. I get emails all the time from them highlighting some of their sales, and it's really good sales. Like for instance, the Pillar New Testament commentary, 15 volume set, regular $500. It's on sale for $99. That's the type of sales they give you. It can really be ridiculous and amazing that they are able to mark it down so much. You see the Preaching the Word commentary, $5.49 on sale for $99. And this is one of their best sales. Their Christmas sales are usually the best. They're off the chain. So if you want to get one of these really expensive resources, just wait until Christmas and you will get a really good deal usually. So of course, they have their section here on Bibles, study Bibles, dictionaries, commentaries. You can just go through all of that and see what you would like to add to your resources. They have the top paid section and top free. So let's go on back here. I'll just click on the ESV. All right, and so once you purchase any additional resources, you can, of course, click here and view your library. You can see it's separated by category. So you got your Bibles, ebooks, and more. So as you can see, Olive Tree has that ability to you can really get some serious study in and just build a huge Bible study library. So I just wanted to show you guys that today. I wanted to also mention that Olive Tree is not the only Bible study software out there. They do have a few like Logos Bible study software, Accordance and eSword are the few that I do know. There are more, so you could of course Google and just kind of compare, do some free trials if they have any available, and just see which ones work for you. I know that Olive Tree is one of the best free resources, so definitely keep that into consideration as well. But you do, like I said, have to purchase the resources, but there are some really amazing sales. So I just wanted to show you guys that digital Bible study resource, and I'm hoping that you guys find that beneficial and just invaluable for your study. Now, what I'm going to do next is show you guys the iPad version of this software. Now, right now, I believe that, let's see. Yeah, so right now we're in version 6.0 for Olive Tree on the Mac. I'm not sure if it's the same on PC. I'm thinking it is, but as of today, January 8th, we are in version 6.0. Now they have recently released version 7 for mobile devices. So I want to show you guys that because it is a little bit different. So hang on, I'm going to do that right now.
All right, so what you're seeing on the screen now is the iPad version of Olive Tree Bible Study software. I haven't actually opened the app yet, but I wanted to just show you all this because it is a little bit different from the 6.0 release on the Mac. So let me open this up. All right, so and it's not a huge difference, but it's something that you should probably just be aware of. So the version on here, I believe, is 7.1. So they just released it in November for iOS. I think it's also on Android. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that, but it is on version 7.1 for iOS. So it is a little bit different. Let's talk about some of these differences. One of the differences is down at the bottom. You see the Open Study Center little section down there. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And as you can see, let me actually go here. As you can see, it pulls up the resource guide, and that's similar to what I showed you all in the previous little section of video where I showed the desktop version. So this is the resource guide. It's the same information that's presented here. It's presented in this resource guide that you saw on the desktop version. And then you have your parallel. Now, parallel is what you don't see on the desktop version. It's actually called library on the desktop, but parallel is essentially the same thing. When you click parallel, it brings up your library, and you can click on it to like just pull up study Bible notes, and it also moves along with what you're reading. So it's essentially the same exact thing as the library. And you also have your notes here and your lookup. And you can look up, search for different topics, just like you can do on the desktop, except this time it says lookup instead of search. So it's essentially the same thing, just under different terms. So, and this is also adjustable here. And let's see if you want it like that as well. But like I said, I think I said it in the previous one, I like to just keep it kind of centered. But we'll go ahead and just tap that out and just have the Bible text. And we'll discuss a little bit of what's going on at the top here. You can click and you have your library. Down at the bottom here, you'll see the recents, recommended, favorites, and categories. You can also access the Olive Tree store from this section as well. You also have your reading plans. I believe this is something new in the app. Um, and you can just go through and add a reading plan that you like to follow. You also have your store. You can buy directly from the store. And you have your settings here. I'm going to go through that as well. And your search and bookmarks. Now for the quick settings here, of course you can adjust your font sizes. Your vertical scrolling, I like to keep things on vertical scrolling. I'm not really a fan of the columns, so vertical scrolling I usually keep on. You can adjust the font face, and of course your window sync, you want that to stay on. They do have themes on the iOS version as well, and I think it's also on Android and PC. You can click to get a black theme, which is very useful, and also just click to get a white theme. The Mac doesn't particularly have a black theme, but you can customize it using those custom settings that I showed you. And it won't look exactly as this. There will still be certain elements of the software on Mac that's not black. So if you want an all black like theme like this, it's going to be kind of difficult to achieve that on the Mac version, but you can change the color to be black in the main window and change the font to be white. So it'll be a little bit similar, but not exactly the same as a just completely black theme. Usually I actually usually keep it on the black theme, so we'll just do that. And over on the right, on the left side, I'm sorry, you can click these three little lines and you'll get the store, a link to the store, messages, verse of the day, reading, history, and more. So this is essentially fully featured, just like the Windows and Mac version. It's pretty much the exact same thing. You get all the features that you have there for the most part. You have it here. And if you want to get rid of like this green bar at the top while you're reading, all you have to do is tap the screen. And now you just have uninterrupted Bible text. So that's essentially the differences for the iOS version. This is version 7.1 as of January 8th, 2018. This is what is current. Now I may create an updated video in the future if they have a major release and I want to go over that, then I will update it. But ultimately, this is the differences.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.